Hey guys, Samantha here. So we're talking about the ethical slut, Janet Hardy, Dossie Easton. So in this video, and it's going to be a pretty quick one as well, we're just going to talk about what they call the 8 steps to a win-win conflict resolution. This is page 177 in the 3rd edition, updated and revised paperback. And I'm just going to read those out to you. I'd love to talk to you about them in the comments. If you guys have anything in here, you have some thoughts on it, maybe you have an additional step or one that didn't make a lot of sense to you that you think maybe should be omitted, please share that with me. I'm interested in your thoughts. So the first one is take time out to ventilate anger. That is, if you are really upset, say, hey, I need a few minutes, walk away for a few minutes, go punch on the punching bag, go for a run, whatever you need to do. Obviously, don't just walk away, let them know, but take a few minutes out to vent that anger so you can come back and address the problem head on with a clear mind, and you can talk about it logically and not be so overwhelmed with emotions that you can't get anywhere. The second step is select one issue to work on. So this is really hard, especially when you're in long-term relationships and you've been together for a long time. You might have a variety of issues that are related, and maybe talking about one brings up a few more. Try to pick one issue only at a time to talk about. Once you've resolved that or you're both on the same page, then start over with the steps and move on to a new issue. But it can get really convoluted if you're working on multiple at the same time, and really hard to find a solution to any of them. The third step is make an appointment to talk. So you've chosen an issue you want to talk about. Maybe right now is not the right time. Maybe later is the right time. Talk to your partner and set a time to sit down and talk about it. Maybe it's, hey, later tonight, we're going to sit and talk about this. Right now, we've got, we're going to a movie, we're going to meet friends. I don't want to talk about it right now. Can we talk about it tonight? Set that time up. Set how long you want to allocate to this conversation. Maybe you can talk about it right now and just say, hey, are you okay talking about this right now? Can we sit down for an hour or for 30 minutes or whatever you think it's going to take and just kind of hash this out? Step 4 is take 3 minutes each to state how you feel while your partner listens. Their hint in here is to use I statements, not you statements, to not be accusatory and make sure you're owning your own emotions. This, however much time you want to set, is obviously up to you guys, but I think this is a really important step here. They're all really important, honestly, but just to make sure that you're each taking a time to say, hey, this is how I feel about the situation. Once you're done and they are actively listening, then they tell you how they feel about the situation. One thing to keep in mind here is the response is not a rebuttal. It's not a back and forth argument. It's just, this is how I feel. Please actively listen, validate, and then tell me how you feel. I'll actively listen and validate. You don't want to get into a back and forth rebuttal. That's counterproductive here. The 5th step that they list out is brainstorm. Write all of the possible solutions, even the silly ones. I love this one. Even if you have a silly solution, I think it can help lighten the mood. But there is something about going and getting a piece of paper and actually writing down things that you think will solve this, resolutions that you're interested in trying, that really helps you stop and say, this is how I feel, but let me separate out the emotions from the logical approach to this so that we can actually find a resolution. The 6th step is to edit the list. Cross out anything that the other person thinks they can't live with. If it's a definite no for them, get rid of it. The 7th thing is to choose a solution and set a specific amount of time that you want to try for it. So maybe there's 3 or 4 things that you both think could work. Just pick one and say, hey, we're going to try this for a month. We're going to try this for, 2 months, for 2 weeks, whatever it is for you guys in that situation. And then stick to that timeline. Try that specific solution that you found, that specific resolution for that amount of time. And the 8th step in this is to reevaluate when that time is up. So, if you say, hey, we're going to try X for 4 weeks, set a time up. Maybe you even put it in your calendar where you say, in 4 weeks, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about this and see if this worked for us. If it did, maybe you extend the time or just kind of add it to your guidelines. If it didn't, that's okay. Discuss again and choose one of the other options. So those are just their 8 steps that they list in the book for conflict resolution. They don't work in every situation, but they do work in a lot of situations, and I think they are wonderful steps. Give it a shot, see how it works out for you. There'll be a link in the description for some other videos about this book. We're discussing a variety of topics. Thanks for tuning in today, guys.